Hello, my friends. Today we are going to make a winter scene. I'm putting my name on my paper and my class code. That's going to be different. Don't forget your class code is your grade and the first letter of your teacher's name. Okay? Then we're going to need to practice some shapes because these might be shapes that we haven't drawn before. And I'm going to show you how to practice those shapes. So we're going to do this on the back of the paper so that we know how to make it on the front. So first, I want you to practice making a half a circle. So start making a circle and then put a line under it. Don't press too hard because we don't want this to show on the other side for our final. So make a half circle and put a line. Oops, that one's a little messed up. I have to fix that. Make a half circle. It's like a big U shape and then you put a line across it. And let's do one the other direction. We'll do a U shape and put a line across the top. A U shape and a line across the top. The other shapes we need to practice are pie shapes. And pie shapes are like triangles. This is a triangle. It's got 3 straight lines that touch each other in points. For this, we're going to make a pie shape. So you start to make a triangle by making an upside down V. And then instead of using a straight line to connect, we're going to use a curved line. So this one is a triangle. And this one is a pie shape. Do you see the difference? Our winter scene is a landscape. It is a picture made of land. And that's where that word comes from. A landscape is a picture of land. So we're going to flip this paper over. I want you to make sure that you are making your picture wider than it is tall. If you've ever printed a piece of paper, you know that when you have choices for how to print, the printer asks, do you want to print it landscape or do you want to print it portrait? Portrait means taller than wide. Landscape means wider than tall. So I've got the correct side of my paper now. Now I'm just going to make some lines. You can make these lines any way that you want. And they can be all straight up and down or they can be slanted. Now it's hard to draw straight lines. Some people can do it. If you can just draw some straight lines. These are going to be our tree trunks. For those of you that might have need a little help drawing straight lines, you can use a marker box or a colored pencil box. I'm going to use my colored pencil box here for a second. I'm going to go down. I'm going to move it. I'm going to go down. I'm going to do that again. And make sure that some of the tree trunks are skinny and some are thick. If you don't have one of those kind of boxes, if you have a box that you carry your supplies in, you can make your straight lines with that. So I'm going to make another straight line here. I'm going to move the box down and make another straight line that goes all the way down. And I think I'm going to make this one nice and thick. It's okay if these lines are bumpy. These are trees, and trees are not perfect. So I'm going to make a couple more. I think one here and one here. And that wasn't so straight, but that's okay. And this one's a little curvy. So some trees are curvy. Some trees are straight. I'm not really worried about this being perfect. It looks good enough to me. Okay, now this is the part where I need my white pencil. So I'm going to take my white pencil and I want to make sure that it's pretty sharp. You don't want to poke holes in the paper, but you want to press kind of hard. I'm going to press really hard. I'm going to make some horizontal lines. I want you to watch. So I'm going to start here and I'm pressing very hard. And I don't know if you can see because it's not showing up because it's a white pencil. So I'm going to press really hard. Now that I've put the white lines on there with my colored pencil, I'm going to take my black crayon, and I use my black crayon a lot, so it's already broken. And that's okay if yours is broken, and if it's not broken, that's okay too. You can use the tip of the crayon or you can use the side of the crayon. So here's how you use the tip of the crayon. And if you press, look what happens. Those white lines that I made on the paper with the white colored pencil, they show up when I color with my crayon over the top. So I'm going to color this tree with my black crayon, and I'm going to color the rest of the trees exactly the same way I did that. So I'm going to take my white pencil and I'm going to draw lines all over all of my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trees, and then I'm going to color over them with black crayon. Now, the younger kids, they're going to color this part with the black crayon after they get the white pencil on it. But if you are in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, you can use instead a black colored pencil. So you put your white lines on and press really hard, and then you take your black colored pencil and you go over the top of those colored lines. And they show up just like they did for the crayon. You have to be a little bit more gentle so you don't press into the areas where the white is. But if you do it carefully, you can see that the white shows up because I have pressed marks into the paper. Okay, I'm going to finish this up and then we'll look at it and do the next step. Notice I turned the paper to make it a little bit easier for me to work on. I'm going to get rid of the extra dust. Okay, now my trees are done. These trees look like birch trees, and birch trees are interesting because they have horizontal lines across them in a texture and then black on top. So that's why we're doing it that way. All right, so our next step is to take a look back at the shapes that we made. We're going to make a bird, and we're going to make the bird out of a half circle that we practiced and some pie shapes. So I need to find a space that's really good for my bird. And since I didn't actually figure out which was the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter. I'm going to find the biggest spot that I have to be for my bird. So I'm going to put my bird right here. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to draw the half circle first. So my bird is going to be right here. And after I draw the bird, I'm going to add a branch that the bird is sitting on. And you can do more than one bird, and you can even draw your bird differently if you want to and make it a different color too. So then I'm going to draw my U shape underneath. I'm going to draw this kind of lightly because I want to erase some parts. And then I'm going to make a pie shape for the head. Oops, I made a little mistake that I had to erase. So I'm going to draw the pie shape right here on top of the bird's body. I'm going to start with a side and a side, and then I'm going to curve it like that. So that's my first pie shape. Then I'm going to add a beak to the front of the bird. It's already starting to look like a bird. I'm pretty happy with this. And then I'm going to add a wing and a tail. So my wing is going to be right here. It's going to be another pie shape. So I'm going to go a V shape this way. And I'm going to make this bigger than the head. And I'm going to curve it back like that. And it looks like I kind of ran out of space for my tail, but I'm just going to make it a little smaller. So I'm going to make a V shape here and curve it like that, and that's my tail. Now the problem is, right now it just looks like a bunch of shapes. So I'm going to erase the lines in between the shapes. So there's my lines between the shapes. I'm going to give my bird a dark spot for its eye. I'm going to make a line on its beak, and I'm going to put some lines on its wing. Okay, so there's the body of my bird. Then I'm going to draw a branch coming out of the tree that comes right up underneath the bird, and I'm going to draw the bird's claws on the tree. So I'm doing a line out of the bird and then do some curved toes. And you can do the toes any way that you want. So that's my bird. I'm done drawing it. Now I'm going to color it. My bird is a cardinal, so I'm going to use a red crayon to color it in. But first, I want to color in the cardinal's eye spot. Okay, I'm going to use a little yellow for the beak. I don't know if cardinals have yellow beaks or not. That's okay. And then I'm going to color the cardinal's body with my red crayon. You do not have to make yours a cardinal. But since it's a winter scene, it shows up really well against the black and white trees. Now, if you want to, you can add some more branches to some more of the trees. I'm going to make some kind of wiggly branches on some more trees, and I can use either my crayon or my pencil and my crayon together. So now I'm going to add a couple more branches going different directions. I think I want them to be a little skinnier than that and not so pointy. I'm going to erase that. And then because this is a snow scene, I think that I want to draw some snow. So I'm going to draw some big snow because it's easier. It's easier to draw big snow and then color blue around it. So, or okay, I'm just finishing up the coloring of the sky. Something that's neat is because your trees are already black, you can make the blue go right onto the trees and it won't show. Here's my finished landscape, winter scene with bird. Thanks for watching, and remember, go make something.